No, it happens a lot of times where you have quote unquote conscious brothers or sisters that will attract, low level people to them. It happens because we're dealing with a higher and a lower self, right? We're dealing with a higher consciousness and a lower subconscious, right? This is what we're dealing with. So a lot of times you're going to attract to you who you are. You thinking, yo, I'm this and I'm that. I'm the spiritual master, quote unquote, high priestess, whatever you want to call yourself. But still, you have that subconsciousness within you, right? And it's not all bad, right? Things that you think that's wrong that a person does, it's not always bad. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But okay, I remember a couple of times I'm in the Botanica, wherever it's at, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan. I'm in the Botanica, and there's plenty of times I see, what people would perceive as thotties. And you would hear them asking for help, or sometimes you could just feel the vibration. And you might start talking, this, that, and the third, and they start telling you about their man ain't this and he ain't that, and blah blah blah. And you could kind of already see where it's going. You could kind of see where it's going. And that goes for men too, man. Men up in the Botanica too, trying to conjure up spells and whatnot so they won't lose wifey. You know what I'm saying? Wifey, they might have broke up for a little bit. Like I had this one brother from Queens that was telling me that him and wifey was together for 6 years, right? Together for 6 years. He told me he did a ritual to get her. Right now, I was like, wow. As soon as he told me that, I said, okay, I see where this is going. He told me he got a ritual to get her. And then something happened, and she started dealing with someone else at her job and whatnot. And he was telling me that he was going to do a ritual to get her back. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I know some people, like I know one brother, a teacher. One brother's a teacher, Manhattan, Uptown. He did a ritual to get his wife, you know what I mean? Which she was a lesbian at the time. He did a ritual to get her. So I'm not knocking brothers for what they do, but I mean, how can you do a ritual? And I don't know how they're doing their rituals. I don't know the science on it, but how can you do a ritual against to someone else and they don't even really know about it? That's a form of manipulation, man. So a lot of people, they're doing this spiritual manipulation thing, right? And me myself, I feel like this. I feel like there's always a fight with the spiritual and the physical. And a lot of times, so-called spiritual, quote-unquote, high conscious brothers and sisters will attract the low level, right? This is your job to uplift these type of people. You're talking about soulmates. And when they paint this picture of a soulmate, they're painting this picture of someone that is equal to them, superiorly, on their level and whatnot, and that's not really reality, because a lot of times we're going to attract people along our journey that is our test of healing. It's our test of healing. So you might be a conscious sister, you might be on some Erykah Badu type, but you might attract a brother like what's the brother from the West Coast that was running with Dr. Dre and them, right? Erykah Badu had a baby behind him. Look, right? This dude is 40-ounce drinking, running with NWA, and a sister named Erykah Badu is attracted to the brother and has a child by him. A lot of people are baffled, just like brother Nas, highly conscious, right? Quote unquote highly conscious rapper in the industry. And how does he attract someone with the image of a, quote unquote thotty as Nicki Minaj? How does this happen? And then she reverts back to a brother like Zoo, quote unquote, right? And I'm just going off the brother's characters and things like that, what we see in the industry. How does that happen? How does a sister like Nicki Minaj, right? She perceives herself, or I would just say the media perceives herself as a low-level sister, vibrating on a low level. How does she go from a brother like Safari? When we look at Safari, we look closely, man, this brother seems like, a real right brother. Seems spiritual. Seemed like he got some sense in his head. And they was together for what, double digits, right? No, years, if I'm not mistaken. Then she goes to Meek Mills. No disrespect, I think the brother has grown since that time. I'll say that. No disrespect. How does she go from that to a brother like Nas to a brother like Zoo? So with the sister Nikki, I ain't got nothing bad to say about the sister or whatever. We're all on different levels. Financially, she's on a different level than a lot of us, right? The majority of us, right? But what about spiritually being rich, right? Financially, spiritually, mentally, and all of that, right? So the money don't really make you and all of that. I guess for people that's on that wave, it does. But it happens, man. It happens, right? The brother Zoo. Some people will go back on his history and perceive this brother as low level. Nikki married this brother, man. I'm sorry, she didn't marry him yet, but she's on to marrying him. So you know what it is, man. Whatever vibration that you're vibrating on, you're gonna attract that, and that's what that is, man. Until we uplift each other. Now, not saying that two low level people can't come together and make something happen. I'm not saying that. You don't know who they're working with, man. They got a lot of money. They might be working with some Deepak. A lot of them, they deal with Deepak and whatnot. And I just wish the best for all of them.